Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to a brand new edition of Holding Court here on the First State Hoops Report YouTube channel. I'm, of course, your host, FSHR Founding Editor Chris Stevens. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there, and thank you for making us a part of your screen time. Of course, this is Super Bowl Sunday, not going to take up too much of your time. If you want me to give you guys a prediction as we're recording this, it is Sunday morning. I'm going to go Eagles 24-10. So if you see this after the Super Bowl and it's not what I predicted, don't look at me. I mean, don't place your betting order. If you're watching this, don't place your betting order on me. I don't bet anyway because, well, I'm frugal and I just can't afford to just throw money away like that. Some people are better suited for gambling than others. I am not one of those people. So don't look for an endorsement on wagers and betting from First State Hoops Report. That's just not our bag. But as usual, if you need to find us on your smartphone, laptop, or every available device that you have, all of our social media platforms and our website and contact info will be in the description below. Also, if you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe and tap the notification bell so you can catch up on all the video highlights of the games we cover, as well as this podcast/vlog. Okay, probably the best week on the boys and girls side of basketball that there's been all season. Like, there were two Game of the Year candidates on back-to-back nights. Everyone else had very good weeks as well that were supposed to be contenders, teams that hope to be contenders, and teams that are still clawing for position in the state tournament. So it's a pretty good week. We'll get to it with the boys first. Mind you, we still have 10 days of regular season basketball left. Coming up, we got a full week here, and we got Monday the 20th, Tuesday the 21st, and Wednesday the 22nd. Plenty of good basketball left, and we'll get to that. But we'll start with the boys, and Sanford and Tower Hill finished off the week with a classic between two teams who played classic games for just about the last 40 years. Tower had a strong start to the first half. Dylan Shepard had 13 in the first half. Dean had 11. Tower was up by 9, but Sanford rallied to tie it. Then they were down by a point, and it came down to the final 46 seconds, which, of course, can be seen on our Instagram page or on our YouTube channel if you guys are so inclined. Make no mistake about it. Getting Chris Stanford back probably makes Stanford, a very dangerous team and still very much a state championship contender. Like, when you have guys who can come back and make big plays like Chris did, like Dayon Polk did running the floor, that is a team that just has – they don't have unspeakable depth. They're not Sally's deep. They're not Howard deep. But their talent matches up very well with just about everybody else's talent around the state. And Ty Perry's done a great job in his second year making that program his own. He said in his post-game interview that Stan Waterman's DNA is still in the locker room, and that's true. But that team definitely has an edge to it that Ty definitely brings to the table, and they're taking on his personality as well. So Sanford is still very much a factor in this whole situation. Like, don't, discount them. I mean, yes, Middletown's very good. Seaford's very good. Sally's is very good. Sanford's up there. Like I said last week, 10 or 12 boys teams could win the state championship, and any of that 10 or 12 that I have in mind would not surprise me. So that is, again, Sanford, very good team. Watch out for them. Tower Hill is not going to win the independent conference this year, but as long as Dean and Dylan can stay healthy, and I know Dean has been battling some ankle problems, if he can get right for the tournament, Tower Hill is still very much a good team that is the defending state champ. So you have to beat them to get to the Bob, I feel like. So that was a great game. If you missed it on Saturday, oh my God, the atmosphere was absolutely tremendous. Tower is one of the more interesting places to watch a game and shoot a game, we'll say. The mood lighting, the temporary bleachers surrounding the track, it gives sort of an AAU type of feel, even though it's a high school game. And it was very interesting to watch, both sides. And it's separated the way it used to be. Like, one side of bleachers was Sanford. One side of bleachers was Tower Hill. And those folks were jawing back and forth all game long. So it was beautiful to watch. And I was glad to be there in the building for it. And for a kid like Chris Stanford, who had missed a lot of time, of course, he had been missing time with illness. And for him to come back and see his teammates mob him, for him to be smiling ear to ear after hitting that winning shot, that's basically what high school sports is all about, man, honestly. You show your teammates love when they come up big in big spots, especially when you know their backstories. That was just one, more exciting games of the year and just one of the more fun games to watch, and I was glad to be there for it. Polytech wrapped up the Henlope and North, overcoming a double-digit against a really tough Cape team on Thursday. And Poly is an intriguing team from a state tournament standpoint because they have a legit big three that can get you buckets when needed. Of course, there's Darrell Little Jr., there's Kyle Gamber, Xavier Brewington, and Brett Shelton Hoskins can make a big four, honestly. So in the right draw, they are a Final Four team, I feel like. They'll probably make the quarters at minimum, but again, it all depends on matchups. And of course, they get Caravel. They don't host Caravel. They visit Caravel on Tuesday. That is a game that's going to be very interesting for both teams because Caravel still has to kind of win a couple here to shore up a state tournament spot while Poly's probably still in line for a first-round bye. Speaking of teams in line for a first-round bye, everyone else is still going along as expected. Middletown and Howard just about wrapped up Flight A and Flight B. Seaford can wrap up Hill and South with a win versus Laurel this coming week. Sal's has won 6 of their last 7. They still have a good chance on the first round bye. And Howard and Sal's, we're going to find out a lot about them because they meet on Friday at Howard. If it's been anything like the last 2 times these teams have faced off, think the Bob and the end of the regular season in Sally's last year, it's going to be intense. So you might want to get a ticket for that one. Of course, you know Howard's gym. I'm a Howard grump. I'm a Howard graduate, so I know it very well. Get your tickets as soon as the notification goes up because they won't last long. Other big ones this week. Who else is playing this week? Sorry. Trying to go through my notes. All right. That's one of the big ones on the boys' side. Caravel has 2 at home this week and 1 on the road. Polytech, of course, visits them on Tuesday. Sanford goes in there on Thursday. Then Middletown can wrap up Flight A undefeated when they go to Mount on Tuesday. Then they host Caravel on Saturday. Tuesday also has St. George's hosting Hodson. St. George's still in line for a first-round bye. Hodson's trying to stay alive on the tourney, just for a tourney spot. Newark Charter is going to host St. Mark's on Tuesday. That very well could be a 23rd seed, 24th seed type of game. Same thing for Odessa at AI on Wednesday. Plenty of good games to check out on the boys' side, so be sure to hit up websitesforsports.com, get your favorite team's schedule and ticket info, and get your tickets. On to the girls' side now, and Sanford versus Ursuline. That game was every bit of the game we thought it would be. It's interesting because I ran a poll, if you follow us on Instagram, First State Hoops Report, and on Twitter, FS Hoops Report, that said, choose your winner. Who do you think wins on Friday? Sanford or Ursuline? By a 2-1 margin, people picked Ursuline to win. I was surprised at that. And that's not a knock on anybody, but I just felt like Sanford, their experience was going to help them out in that environment. And he did. They won 59-51. They handed Ursuline their first loss of the season after a 17-0 start. When I talked to Coach Marcus Thompson after the game, he mentioned that he felt his girls have been kind of slighted a little bit, after the chatter surrounding, the 8th graders and the depth and the talent that Ursuline had. You can probably catch his comments. Actually, you can catch his comments on the recap of the Ursuline-Sanford game on this very YouTube channel. He said he wanted them to, play their best without having to prove anything to anybody because, well, they're Sanford. And they came pretty close. Honestly, turnovers and missed layups made that game closer than it probably should have been. But Sanford is still very much a favorite in this whole thing. And the scary thing is they're not completely healthy. They just got Jada Snow back. They had a flu bug going throughout the team that they're still trying to get, under control. And somehow they are the one in Ursuline 17-1. Still a very good team over there in Sanford. Like, don't sleep on them. Obviously, nobody's going to sleep on them. They're probably going to be one of the 2 teams in the state championship game. Ursuline, I feel like this is an experience that is going to help them grow, obviously, because they're such a young team. You can see the disappointment in the girls' faces on Friday night as, the clock started winding down. But if you know anything about John Noonan, he's going to have those girls ready. So I kind of feel bad for who's ever between them and Sanford from this point forward because that team is going to rededicate itself in a way that you probably have never seen before. And as I said last week, if they had gone undefeated, honestly, I don't even think they need to go undefeated. If they win the state championship, they're probably still one of the best one-season wonders, boy or girls, teams to come down the pike in a very long time. But again, that's going to be a loss that they'll learn from. And if it's in the cards, if it's in the universe as well, we will see Sanford and Ursuline again, and it'll be for that trophy and for the right to cut down that net. But 22 other teams will have something to say about that. And just which 22, we will find out soon. Elsewhere around the state, Appo and AI have wrapped up Flight A and Flight B. Woodbridge wrapped up the Henlopen South weeks ago. Cape finished off the Henlopen North with a tough win over Polytech on Thursday. Archmere survived their Diamond State schedule up to this point, including a win Thursday against the very determined. Actually, it was Wednesday. I went to that game against the very determined DMA team, who's probably going to cause at least one team headaches in the tournament. Like, they play a style that is very aggressive, very opportunistic on offense. It was kind of like, mirror images on Wednesday when DMA visited Archmere. I think what makes Archmere different is they had a little more experience, and they run their half-court sets just a little better. Archmere's girls can beat you in a variety of ways. Don't expect speed and high-tempo, fast-paced offense to be one of them. But, again, they run half-court sets very well. They are tough on defense. They have two centers, Lucy Oliver and Sarah Denning, who are good on the boards and in the post. That is going to be a team that I think will surprise some folks, even though they are 14-3. They're very much in line for a first-round bye. And that is a gym that's going to be tough to play in coming in off a first-round game. So if Archmere can get to a quarter, and if all possible, if the draw if the draw shakes out the way I think it shakes out, they have a very good chance at the Final Four. And that would be big for a school that's basically been known for football, lacrosse, and soccer and volleyball up to this point. So for either the boys or girls, and the boys are very good too, but the girls right now are really like one of the top 5 teams in the state at this point. And if they can get to a Final Four, that would be a huge step forward for that program. Big games this week on the girls' side include Caravelle visiting Delmarva Christian on Monday. Tower hosts Wilmington Charter on Tuesday. That's another one of those 23-24 games that I mentioned for the boys' side. Sanford meets Tatnall again on Wednesday at Sanford. This will be the decider for the independent conference title. Archmere looks to finish off the Diamond State schedule undefeated when they visit Conrad on Tuesday as well. And Ursuline hosts St. E on Wednesday and plays the St. Mark Saturday night. So this is a good chance for Ursuline to finish the regular season on a high note heading into the state tournament. Once again, plenty of games to get to. So get yourself a ticket. Visit websiteforsports.com to find out who's playing where. And go see the kids play. Every game matters up to this point. 10 regular season games left. We got the Henlopen championship games and the Blue Hen Conference championship games. By the way, who on the schedule put both of those on a Saturday? And why? Why are you forcing us in the media to pick? Can't be both. They haven't invented clones just yet. Help us help you. Because I remember the Henlopen championships used to be on Friday. Now it's on Saturday, the same time as the Blue Hen. I have a choice to make. I don't have a staff. I am the staff. So I have to make a choice. Not too thrilled about that. But yeah, we got those games and, of course, the state championship and the state tournament coming up. Go see these kids play. They're giving their all, and they deserve to have good crowds in front of them. So please, go see them play. Last but certainly not least, this week was a really good week to join the 1,000-point club here in the state of Delaware. Tuesday night, Carly Venables, Laurel standout guard, who's also actually a pretty good softball player, hit her 1,000 point against Delmar. Then on Thursday, Jaheim Harrell of Dover did it on the boys' side in a major way. He needed 19 coming in against the game against Milford, and he dropped a 50-burger. I think he's the first boy since Bones, because Bones had 58 against Hodson one time. And it's funny because Bones got traded to the Clippers, if you missed that bit of news during the NBA trade deadline. And I got to say, it was kind of funny to watch Denver bench look lost without their leading bench scorer. Funny how that works out. But, of course, we here in Delaware are always going to wish Bones the best, wherever that is. And while the Sixers are middling along, it doesn't hurt to go root for the LA Clippers because one of our own is playing for them. Same for Dante DiVincenzo up in Golden State. Both Delaware NBA players are out in California right now. I know they're enjoying the weather because right now this weather is annoying. One day it's hot, one day it's cold, one day it's raining, one day it's, just whatever. Enjoy California, Bones and Dante. I hope you're enjoying it. Also on Friday, Aaliyah Richardson from St. George's, one of the most underrated girls in the state. She scored her 1,000th in a win over Conrad. And Saturday morning, Ainsley Bell of Delmarva Christian reached the 1,000-point mark. So yes, if you're counting, that's 4 players that hit 1,000 points over the course of 5 days last week. It's remarkable considering this premise that Sean Green from WDEL dropped on me in a recent discussion that we had. And again, I suck at math. Math is one of the main reasons that I didn't finish with, honors in high school. And it took me a couple extra years to finish college, but that's another story for another day. But I trust Sean's premise. You need to average 16 or 17 points a game and play a minimum of 60 high school games to reach 1,000 career points. And when you think about the 2021 pandemic season and how that was kind of like, it was a season, but it really wasn't, because most teams were lucky to play 10 games that year. So many kids, past, present, and possibly future, lost out on reaching 1,000 points because, we were in the middle of a deadly pandemic. We didn't know how bad it was. And people still are treating it like it's not a bad thing, because it really is. People are still getting sick and dropping dead out here. So please be safe. But for these kids to even be in the ballpark and then reach 1,000 points, that's a testament to their coaching, their talent, their drive, their skill. It's awesome, man. Individual milestones, I'll say it isn't the end all and be all, because what did Herman Edwards say? You play to win the game. But it is nice to see these kids reap the benefits of all their hard work, be it all-state teams, be it 1,000-point accomplishments and all of that. It's awesome, man. And I want to take time out really quickly just to thank everybody that has shown love. I've seen people out at games. There are people that comment on Instagram, that are on YouTube, on Twitter, just saying, thank you for what you do. And, platitudes and different things like that, it's not why I do it. Like, granted, again, I've been a journalist for 21 years now. Like, literally, I've been covering sports half of my life. And I wouldn't trade it for the world. Like, granted, I have a nice little cushy work from home job that, helps me live comfortably enough, reasonably enough. But I miss journalism as a full-time field. I'm not even going to lie. So First Day Hoops Report was started out of my missing going to games and feeling that basketball in Delaware kind of gets slighted a little bit. So, this isn't a bag chase for me. Like, Lord knows, if I had been trying to make money off of this, I probably would have had to quit 2 years ago. But being able to, and giving credit to my employers too, for my previous job and the job that I have now, that are like, okay, we understand that this is something that is important to you. And as long as you still do your work and let us know where you're going to be, go do it. And that's why I'm still able to make all of these games, man. And again, I'm just very happy to do it and thrilled that the kids are getting the publicity that they deserve. And I'm thankful for the kind words also, don't get me wrong, because, everybody wants to be told that they're doing a good job at some point in their lives. I mean, we're all human. But just to be able to say that, hey, we pulled this off, we're getting kids highlights now, they get interviews, they're able to see themselves on Instagram or on YouTube and read what they said on the website if they choose to, get player of the week honors. And we're having a ball doing it, man. Absolutely having a ball doing it. Like, just, I'm grateful. Just attitude of gratitude. That's how I operate. Like, when people say thank you or, compliment me, it's like, yeah, this is great. But hopefully the fun continues this season and beyond. We'll see what happens. And that brings us to the final buzzer on this here episode of Holding Court. Greatly appreciate your eyes, ears, minds, and hearts as always. Once again, if you need to find us, all the information will be in the description below. 1 month of basketball left, y'all. Let's have some fun with it. Looking forward to seeing y'all in the gyms this week. Until then, please take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and enjoy the games, man. Peace.